this. Alright. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back. This is the Table of Brotherhood. And this is the show that's about getting black men together to speak about things that's conducive to our society as opposed to detrimental. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off, continuing where we left off last week or last episode. This topic is still what makes up a man, how we are as black men supposed to behave and think and do in his lifetime in this society. Like I said, we're continuing on from last week, and we're just going to go ahead and pick it up from there. But we're going to reintroduce everyone real quick. That is
Brother Willis,
Brother James,
Brother Day,
and I'm Brother Alex. All right. So last week, we spoke about basically your alpha man would be respected. People would do for and help and work with an alpha man out of respect and or love, as opposed to an alpha male, they'll do it out of respect and or fear.
Right. Just to chime in on that, when we think about an alpha male, you think about a leader, and sometimes a leader follows before they get out in front of the whole group, which is kind of what the alpha male does. And when you look at animals or you look at people, I mean, the biggest person, are going to pretty much be dominant, especially if they use their size to their advantage. And so you can have that with animals, dogs, steers, cats, whatever you so choose. However, with the alpha man, that respect comes in because they don't mind being sacrificial. They don't mind stepping back and saying, well, hey, this is what I'll do for the overall movement of the dream. And so therefore you have the alpha male, whenever they need something, people don't mind trying to help them because they see them helping them and helping themselves.
Characteristics. What would we say are realistic characteristics of a man, of a man's man?
well, a man, first and foremost, a man accepts his responsibilities, his true responsibilities to himself, to his family, his community. That's the first thing. Beyond that, there's respect, respect for those same areas. A true man respects himself, he respects everyone around him. And he also, by doing that, he also commands respect.
Yep. The thing is, I don't respect you because you respect me. I respect you because I respect myself. The respect that I have starts from me and exudes out of my body. It doesn't come from the outside and come to the inside. It starts from the inside and goes to the outside. Even if you disrespect me, hey, I'm not going to start thrashing you or trashing you or dissing you because you stepped on my shoes by mistake. No, it's not like that. People respect me because I am a respectable person.
There was a quote that piggybacks off of what you just said. The difference between a child and an adult is when it comes down in terms of problems, the child looks outward while the adult looks inward. And I think as a man, you have to be able to first of all find fault in oneself to what it is that has me here. However, there's nobody else on my level, on the same horizontal plane, who can stop me at what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, no one can stop a man from getting up and going to work in the morning. Only a snowstorm. And here in Atlanta, we know, we saw it for a week. Only a snowstorm will keep real men from their job. Anything other than that, you just allow yourself to do it. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good point.
Yeah, man.
I would say that the main characteristic of a man is love, and I think that's something that we, as men, we don't talk about a lot. But loving ourselves means we take care of ourselves. Loving our God means that we respect and we hold reverence for. Loving our community means that we don't allow things to happen in our community that we don't want to see happen in our community. Loving our families means that we will provide for them at all costs. Loving the woman that we're with means that we respect her and we hold people accountable for what they're going to do. So it's all based on love. It's not based on getting what you want. It's based on love. The love for everything that's surround you.
Bringing some realism to the table. All right, the things that we're speaking about, the things that we have been talking about. How would we? Well, first, there are things we can do. Yes, we can talk about that. But what would the community, the men in the community, what could they do to get this lesson reinforced? Because just like teachers, and I think all of us have been in teacher roles at some point, you can teach something and it's good, but if it's not reinforced, outside of school or outside the environment, the teaching environment, it might not do as much good because it's not reinforced. So how would we go about reinforcing these lessons? How can we do that realistically?
Realistically, I'll go us off. A lot of the males, a lot of the men in our communities, we need to stand up and say, hey, look, we have a problem. There's a true problem that we're not addressing. And we need to sit down at a table. It needs to be more than just the four of us. We should be at the top of the Ritz-Carlton at a conference table discussing what are the problems in Southwest Atlanta, what are the problems in Decatur, what are the problems off Progression Road. And when we first sit down and acknowledge the damage that has been done, the government does it all the time. If it's war, if it's a natural disaster, first thing the president sits down and look at it and says, how much have we lost? How much is the damages? We already know that things are happening. But as long as people continue to live in a closet about it, as long as I drive my Rolls Royce and I park my car off of Cascade Road and think that nothing, it ain't my problem. I'm not doing anything else.
Some people have said I'm a little more radical than others, but it's just because I've seen a lot, and I've lived in a lot of different environments and a lot of different communities, and quite honestly, I feel like we've been having this conversation for a number of decades, and there's nobody in the community, especially in our communities. Now, I'm not talking about the suburbs. I'm talking about really that lives where the majority of black people live. There's nobody there that doesn't know what the problems are. There's nobody there that needs to be lectured on what the problems are. They see it every day. So this is not news. What the problem is, I believe, is that there's too many people in the community that just don't care. And I mean, true enough, we can do all these solutions and every bit helps. Every time a good person helps another good person, it's a good thing. That's two people doing the right thing. But we have to recognize that we are living in a pool with a lot of people that don't care. That, as I said in the first episode, they don't have to. And you can be good all you want to be. You can be the best teacher you can be. But as long as those don't have to, since their kids there and they got the attitude don't have to, that ain't gonna do nothing but bring down the rest of the class of the people who do want to. So at some point, we're gonna have to recognize we gotta do something about that. We can't just keep throwing us all in the same boat, expecting different results, expecting that boat to somehow miraculously turn to the promised land. It probably is, actually. I think most times it's just that you have good people trying to do good things, and they see nothing changes. And if they're not, as a matter of fact, it gets worse. Again, going back to the teacher example, we see this all the time. People always want to blame teachers for this and teachers for that, but many teachers start out wanting to help. They want the world for these students, but because they're not getting that cooperation, because they're not seeing any changes, because things are getting worse, after a few years, that great teacher ends up being apathetic. Then that great teacher ends up being really a bad teacher because they get worn down, because the stuff just didn't happen. And I think that happens to people at large in general, in the public. And people who try to help other people, after a while, if you don't see any result, if you see things getting worse and worse, people start kind of shutting down, or they just back off, and they become that guy in the in the Bentley on Cascade.
I and Barack Obama are both black, but But just because I'm black doesn't mean I can pick up the phone and say, hey, Barack, there's something going on in Southwest Atlanta that I think the Army need to come down here and shut it down. It's a problem to me, yeah. But then there's something way bigger out there. And we have to continue to have this dialogue. But then how long will we continue to talk and not go out and make something happen? How long will we drive by our corner block and see these young men out here? May not be selling drugs, but you look like you selling drugs. And we don't stop and get out the car and say, hey, look, y'all, check this out. From this point, every Saturday, just like y'all out here, we finna come out here with business suits and we gonna stand on the corner too. You know, how do you make them uncomfortable? You know, we gotta start making these people uncomfortable. You know, and
I like that. I actually like that.
they're not gonna fight you. One person gonna run up and throw a punch at you, and you gonna do it to them, and everybody else on the corner gonna recognize, okay, we gonna come back and shoot it. And then at that point, then we can really sit down and have a dialogue between evil and good. Because if somebody say, I see you trying to do good, but I don't want you here because I want to do bad, and I'm willing to shoot you for it, then I don't even want to talk no more, fellas.
The role of social workers or anybody who wants to engage in a movement is to wait until the people are ready to move and join that movement. But while that's about to happen, put the institutions together so they have a place to go when they're ready to move. And so I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's true. I mean, we don't start the movement, we want to be a part of the movement. And until people are ready, you know, when you do counseling, I was a counselor for a while, you know, you work with people who are addicted to all kinds of stuff. Until they're ready to change, there's nothing you can say that's going to make them change.
Alright, so check it out. Again, this is the Brotherhood. Alright, the Table of Brotherhood. And this is Brother
Willis.
Brother James.
Brother Ade.
Brother Alex coming at you, talking about things that needs to be spoken about, and hopefully motivating people to do things that needs to be done. As you just heard in the last part, we are actually doing something. Okay. Next week, next episode, we will be talking about one of the most apparently interesting subjects in the black community. As a matter of fact, it's so interesting that you got other countries picking it up. But we're going to talk about black men in our relationships with women, but we're going to come from the viewpoint and the understanding of a man. All right, we're not going to talk about, you know, what women do. We're going to talk about what we as men have done, don't do, would do, should do in our relationships. All right, so next episode is about relationships with women. I reiterate, and that's pretty much it. One more thing. There's something coming up called, what's it called? Let Us Make Men. Let Us Make Men is a seminar where a lot of black men come together. Matter of fact, women as well. But a lot of people come together in different cities in Georgia to have different conferences and not just discussions, but also teachings about how to elevate ourselves up as men. And I strongly suggest that you look into that, look it up. It's in April, I believe it's April 15th? April 30th. It's April 30th. I'm going to talk about this a lot more often, and the closer we get to the time that we're supposed to go out, I'll start producing or presenting information for you guys, you know, on the show or at the end of the show. So be on the lookout for that. Again, it's called Let Us Make Men. Go ahead and look that up. I've been to the last couple of when they happened the last couple of years, and they were great. They were awesome. Matter of fact, two of these brothers went with me. We can tell you a lot of great stuff about it. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got everything. Also, look us up on Facebook. It's also called the Table of Brotherhood. If you want to have other conversations, express your opinions, please do so. And also, don't forget to comment on the YouTube page. Do that.